Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Sorry, late
Yes, good morning.
response.
It's okay, it's okay. Once again, good morning. I am thrilled to be here with you today for my final demonstration for the subject ELT328 class, where we will embark on an exciting journey of language exploration and learning together. I am Giancarlo Lasib-Lisbos, your student teacher for this subject. And now, before we formally start our class this morning, let us first have our prayer that will be led by our class mayor, Damelin Ando.
Okay po, sir. Good morning. So, let us pray. Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. May our hearts be open, our minds receptive, and our spirit ready to embark on this educational journey, dear Lord, seeking growth, understanding, and compassion for ourselves and others. We thank you so much, Lord, for this wonderful day and amazing day that you have given us. This I pray in the loving name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, class mayor. And now let us check first your attendance. Class mayor, please send me the list of those students who are absent this morning and also attach the their excuse letter.
Okay, sir. Noted.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. And now to those who are present this morning, kindly turn on their camera so that proof of or a documentation for this class. Okay, open your camera, everyone. Okay, let's have a screenshot. One, two, three, smile. Okay, thank you for that. Again, welcome to our class. This is grade 9, section Tulip. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And before we go to our lesson proper, let us first have a review. So, for our review, I have a question. So, what was our last topic, or what was the last literature that we have discussed during, during our last discussion, last day, last day, our last discussion. Anybody? Yes, Miss Damelin.
Our topic last lesson is all about the Odyssey po, sir.
Okay. And for my next question, who was the protagonist of the literature Homer the Odyssey? Anyone? Yes, Miss Ando.
Since I listened to your discussion last meeting, sir. I guess the protagonist is the Odysseus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is right. The protagonist of the literature Homer the Odyssey is Odysseus. And for our motivation, kindly type in the encode messages your answer in my question. So, what do you see around you as of the moment? I mean, right now, what do you see around you? It could be a water or something.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
I'm sorry. So, my question is, what do you see around you right now? A laptop, a man. Wow. Chorizo. And next question is, when you see a beach, or I mean dagat or a sea, what comes to your mind? So what do you think is the taste of the sea? Wet, yes. Fishes. Okay. Okay, that concludes our review and our motivation. Yes, Bryle responded mermaid. Thank you. And that is our motivation and our review this morning. Let us go to our objective. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to A. Distinguish and understand the different forms of imagery, appreciate the use of imagery in literature, and express the importance of imagery in enhancing the reading experience, and create visual representations of literary imagery using various artistic mediums. So since we have discussed last meeting about the Homer the Odyssey, let us dig further on the text of the story using the language based approach and language model. So let's go to our activity before we proceed to our proper discussion. So all you have to do in this activity for the task 1 is you just have to describe the picture. All right? Okay. Is the slide visible, guys?
Wala, sir.
Visible po, sir. Ay, dili de.
Wait, wait, wait. Okay, for our activity for the task 1, all you have to do is describe the picture. Right? For the picture 1, who would like to describe this picture? Anybody? Just raise your hand if you would like to answer. Okay, Miss Manliklik for the picture 1.
So for the picture one, sir, I see is a flower pot and it smells nice.
Okay, it's a flower, that is right. And it smells nice. Thank you so much. And for the picture 2, who would like to describe? Yes, Miss Ando.
For the picture two, it is Miss Lisa or Liza Soberano po. And she's so gorgeous.
Okay, she's so gorgeous. And for the picture 3, yes, Mr. Kansing.
I think this is edible and this is so mouth-watering. It is ice cream.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kansing. And for the picture 4, yes, Miss Ignisaban.
For the picture four, sir, I think it's Regine Velasquez, and her voice is very pleasant to my ears.
Okay, and in addition, she is our Asia's songbird. She's very famous in the Philippines and also in Asia. And for the picture 5, anybody who want to answer? Yes, Mr. Albaran.
Uh, Um, just guess lang po. I think it's a cotton. It's soft and uh,
Okay, that is right. It's a cotton and it's soft. So when you touch the cotton, it is very soft. Thank you so much. And let's proceed to the task 2, vocabulary enhancement. So we have here A, tactile, B, auditory, C, visual, D, olfactory, and E, gustatory. So all you have to do is to answer it in regards to their corresponding senses, sense organ. So like for example, the tactile, what sense organ can be associated with this word? Right? So you just have to type in the encode messages your answer from A to E. Go. Okay, please type in the encode messages your answer from A to E. All right. Eyes. Okay, so I think everybody has already submitted their answer in the encode messages. Let's check if your answer is correct for the task 2. Thank you so much, guys. Let's reveal the answer for the vocabulary enhancement. All right, for the tactile, we have the skin. Auditory, we have the ear. Visual, we have the eyes. Olfactory, we have the nose. And lastly, the gustatory, we have the tongue. I think everybody got the correct answer. Yes, everybody got the correct answer. Thank you so much. And for our analysis, for the task 1, which is the picture analysis. So how did you describe the pictures? Anyone? All right, Miss Ignisaban.
Okay, the question is how did you describe the pictures? Um, my answer is I describe the pictures by using my senses to describe the pictures like, for example, uh, the flowers as beautiful and has a nice smell.
Okay. Thank you so much. And for the second question, who would like to answer? For the second question, anybody? Yes, Miss Manliklik.
So the next question, sir, what have you noticed regarding the words you describe at the pictures? So it appeals to our senses pop.
All right, it has something to do with our senses. And for the task 2, for the first question, how did you come up with that answer? Anybody? For the vocabulary enhancement. Okay, Miss Ando. Miss Ando? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry po. I thought na open mic pero wala di ay.
It's okay.
So
It's okay.
the question po is how did you come up with that answer? So my answer po is it is based on the prior knowledge po.
Okay. I firmly believe that you guys have already had an idea about our topic this morning because you have a prior knowledge regarding this. And last question, what do you think will be our lesson for today? Just a wild guess. Yes, Mr. Kansing, for the last question.
Um, I think our lesson will be tackling about senses, if I'm not mistaken, because the activity that have been presented to us clearly states something or I mean clearly shows that about senses like um, eyes, like how you feel, or something like that.
Okay. Well, let's see if your guess is correct. But I guess it's correct naman. And so much for our activity and analysis. Let us proceed to our abstraction, to our lesson proper. Alright? Our topic for this morning is all about imagery. So who among you here have an idea about what imagery is? All right. So imagery is the representation of through language sense of experience, using words to describe things we normally experience with our sense of sight, touch, sound, taste, smell, etc. Imagery is a language that appeals to the senses. And for the information of
Opo.
everybody, there are different types of imagery, and it was evident earlier in our activity. So there are five types of imagery. The first one is the visual imagery. So this type of imagery appeals to sight. So, like for example, in the of Harry Potter in the Chamber. So we can see there a lot of imagery, but let us focus on the visual imagery first. So the example of visual imagery that we can see in that literature is the lush green grass formed a living frame for a single white blossom. So what makes this example a visual imagery? Of course, the lush green grass dictates or says that this type of text is a visual imagery. And for the example number 2, kindly read, everyone who would like to read the example number 2. Okay, Miss Manliklik.
Okay, so it looked as tough it had once been a large stone pavement. That extra room had had been added here and there until it was several stories high, and so crooked it looked as tough it were held up by magic.
Specifically, the sense of smell as very
Okay,
different
so
in London
this
and it
example is
was
a
lit
type of
and
visual
it
imagery.
shines
Why?
bright
And simply
with
because
the dimension of
the
hunger and
the
anxiety and
stone
the enhances
has
the
been
image
described
imagery
as a large.
as every
So
characters items
the
success.
stone is large. So we can describe the stone as large. So when we see a stone, we can say that it's large, it's small, it's tiny, or something like that. And it appeals to our sight, right? So we use our eyes to describe the picture. So that what makes it a visual imagery. It appeals to the sense of seeing, appeals to sight. For the second type of imagery, which is the auditory imagery, it appeals to our hearing. So kung unsa ato ang madungog. So let's say for example from the literature of Harry Potter and the Chamber. First example is the crashing and banging coming from the kitchen alerted me to the intruder's presence. So from the word itself, crashing, banging. So what did you hear? Or I mean, I'll ask someone, what did you hear? It's a crashing, banging coming from the kitchen. So it clearly state that it appears to what we hear. And for the second example, kindly read. Who would like to read the second example? Okay, Mr. Kansing.
Okay, the second example with and ear-splitting bang of metal wood, they hit the thick great trunk and dropped to the ground with heavy jolt.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kansing. And with this example, what makes it auditory is the word ear splitting. So ear splitting means nakakabingi, something like that. And it appeals to our hearing, clearly as it is. Right? So that's the nature of the auditory imagery that we can see from the literature of Harry Potter and the Chamber. And that is the auditory imagery. It appeals to hearing. It appeals to the sense of hearing. And for the third type of imagery, we have here the tactile imagery. It appeals to touch. The rough example, the rough grainy surface abraded my skin. So when we touch my skin, like for example, I'll touch my skin. So I would say that it's rough, my face is rough. So that is an example of a tactile imagery, right? Damilin Ando is laughing. Hmm. So that is tactile imagery. We describe what we touch. Okay. So for the second example, who would like to read? Okay, Miss Ignisaban.
His eyes move from the golden registration number at the top of the handle, right down to the perfectly smooth, streamlined birch twigs that made up the tall and he could feel it vibrating into his skin.
Now, my question is, what makes this a tactile imagery? Anyone? Okay, so what makes this a tactile imagery is the word perfectly smooth and vibrating into his skin. So if my face is rough, then his face is perfectly smooth. So that's the nature of tactile imagery. We describe, or the persona describe what he touches, and that appeals to the sense of touch, to the sense of our skin. And for the fourth imagery, type of imagery, we have the olfactory imagery. It appeals to smell. So it has something to do on what the nose absorbs. So let's have an example. The spicy aroma or garlic and sooted onions encircled me when I stepped into the room. Spicy aroma. So, how will you describe the aroma? So, unsa may kanang baho na imuhang nasimot. So, spicy. The aroma is spicy. So, that is olfactory imagery. It appeals to smell. And for the second example, the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, filling the room with its rich aromatic presence. So, what makes this olfactory, everyone, is that the scent of the brewed coffee is fresh and it has rich and aromatic presence. So, meaning, humot siya. The smell is nice. So, that is the nature of olfactory imagery that we can see in the literature Harry Potter and the Chamber. And lastly, we have the last type of imagery, which is sorry, the last. Hello, am I audible?
Medyo lag ka po, sir.
Okay, okay. Sorry for the technical problem. I just lost my connection, guys. For the technical problem that we have experiencing right now, I just lost my connection and I'm back. So just a moment, class. Where did we end na?
Sense of
Olfactory po.
smell.
Olfactory imagery, sir.
Okay. So once again, the olfactory imagery is a type of imagery that appeals to smell. So what we smell we describe what we smell. So that's the nature of olfactory imagery. Let's say, for example, the garlic and sauteed onions. So how can we associate it, or how can we describe it using our sense of smell, using our nose? So it's spicy. The second example is the brewed coffee is described as fresh scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, and its aroma is rich in presence. And that's the olfactory imagery, everyone. For the last type of imagery, we have the gustatory imagery, which appeals to taste. And for example of this imagery is the sweet, tangy flavor of the orange candy swirled through me. So we describe what we taste. We describe what we eat. So that's the gustatory imagery. So in this example, for the first example, is how will you describe the orange candy? So it's sweet. So let's say, for example, our activity earlier about the ice cream. So it can be described as sweet, or a food that is spicy, or a bitter or salty. And second example, pinching his nose, Harry drank the potion down in two large gulps. It tasted like overcooked cabbage. Immediately, his inside started breathing as though he'd just swallowed like live snakes. So what makes this example as gustatory and what makes it appeals to taste is that the potion was described as overcooked cabbage. So it's like in vernacular, mura siya ganang napagod, something ana. Okay, and that concludes our topic, which is the imagery. So let's have a review. Okay, for the type of imagery, we have the visual imagery appeals to sight, auditory imagery appeals to hearing, tactile imagery appeals to touch, olfactory imagery appeals to smell, gustatory imagery appeals to taste. And that concludes our topic this morning. Any question regarding our topic?
None so far, sir.
None so far. None so far.
Okay, I believe that you guys have grasped the topic this morning. And for that, let us have our application. For your application, this is a group work. So all you have to do is interpret some text from the Homer, the Odyssey, and identify the imagery used in the text provided. So for the group one, the leader will be Miss Ignisaban. For the group two will be Damelin Ando. And for the group three will be Mr. Kansing. Alright? So please choose your member.
Okay,
Again,
sir,
for the group
copy.
one. Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Dancer.
Okay, for the group 1, Miss Ignisaban. Group 2 leader is Miss Ando. And for the group 3 leader is Mr. Kansi. Okay, for the group 1, this is your assigned text from the literature. For the group 2, here is also your assigned text. And for the group 3, the rich aroma of roasted
We
meat.
must
So this
grab
is your
the
assigned
side of the
text
telephone
from
next
the
to
The
receive.
Odyssey, Homer the Odyssey.
So we are
Okay,
going bowling
kindly
on
screenshot
his mouth and
and
smile standing on our pictures
kindly screenshot everyone
pictures
and
with
brainstorm with
beach
your group. Choose your
pictures
group, ha.
with beach
Group 1, group 2,
as
group 3.
she sings
I'll
a
I'll give you
hauntingly melodic
5 minutes
sound to
for this
our
one. Is it okay, class?
Yes, sir. Dancer.
yes sir.
Wow. Okay, so are you done now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me just present first the rubrics for your um, interpretation of the text. For the interpretation, 20 points, accuracy, 20 points, and imagery, 10 points. So, again, what you guys gonna do with this text is you have to interpret and to look what type of imagery is being used in this text. Are you done now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's brilliant. All right, for the group one, where is the group one?
Here po,
Miss
sir.
Ignisaban.
I'm
Okay,
with Miss Mangaron po and Mr. Charlan.
Miss Mangaron and
Mr.
Mr.
Charlan. Carkailas po.
Mr. Char.
Okay.
Okay,
And good
read read your chosen text first,
okay, good morning
and then explain.
everyone. We are the group 1 and um, the text is the mesmerizing sight of the beautiful Neil Calypso with her flowing golden hair and radiant smile, standing on a picturesque beach as she sings a hauntingly melodic song to Odysseus. Um, for the interpretation and types of imagery, sir, for our group, we believe that this text represent visual and auditory imagery. The visual imagery portrays the captivating appearance of Calypso and wait, wait, sir. It emphasizing her beauty with a flowing golden hair um, and radiant smile. The auditory imagery is evoked through the mention of her melodic song, suggesting a haunting and enchanting quality to her voice. And together, this description creates a vivid and immersive sensory experience for the readers po. That's it po.
All right, let's give the group one a round of applause, everyone. That's a brilliant discussion of the text. Thank you so much, Miss Ignisaban. So the type of imagery is visual and gustatory. Okay, thank you, group one. Let's proceed to the group two, the group of Miss Ando.
Okay,
Okay.
good morning, sir. So I am from the group 2 and I am with Mr. Clarion and Mr. Albaran. So for our group, sir, um, I will read the sentence first. The cold, clammy touch of the serpent's skin as Odysseus wraps his hands around them, carefully maneuvering to blind the Cyclops Polyphemus, his touch filled with tension and determination. So, for our answer, the interpretation and type of imagery is this passage primarily represents tactile imagery, and also the description focuses on the sensation of the cold and clammy touch of the serpent's skin as Odysseus grips them tightly. It conveys a sense of tension and determination as Odysseus carefully handles the serpents in his plan to blind the Cyclops and Polyphemus. And also, the tactile imagery allows the reader to experience the physical sensations and emotions associated with Odysseus' action po. That's it po, sir.
Wow, that was a brilliant discussion or interpretation of this text. Let us give the group two a virtual round of applause, everybody. Yes, that's a nice discussion, no? And how about the last but not the least group, the group of Mr. Kansing?
Okay, sir, I will be the representative of the group 3 together with Miss Jody Manliklik. So for the text that we'll be going to interpret, the rich aroma of roasted meat and spices wafting from the halls of the Cyclops cave where the Odysseus and his crew are trapped. Their senses heightened with hunger and anxiety. So as we can see, sir, The rich aroma of roasted meat and spices from the halls of the Cyclops Cave gives us or says that it would be an olfactory. I mean, it represents olfactory, and that it describes the rich aroma of roasted meat and spices, as what I've said. The imagery evokes a sensory experience, specifically the sense of smell, as the reader can imagine the enticing and appetizing scent. The mention of hunger and anxiety also further enhances the imagery, as the characters' heightened senses of intensify their perception of the aroma. That's it po.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kansing, Group 3. Right? The the text has the gustatory type of imagery in it, which is appeals to our smell. That's a very comprehensive discussion coming from Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Congratulations, everyone, for a job well done, for a very wonderful and comprehensive discussion. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Congratulations! And for that, I am giving the Group 1, the Group 1, the Group 2, and the Group 3 a perfect score, 50 over 50.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. And I can
Thank
see
you
that,
po.
yes, you're welcome. You deserve that perfect score. I firmly believe that you guys have already grasped the idea or the knowledge of what imagery is. And I think you already master it. And with that being said, let's proceed to our evaluation, our quiz this morning. So direction, kindly read, Mr. Clarion. Well, okay. For the direction of our quiz or evaluation this morning, the name of our quiz is Hunting Imagery. So read thoroughly the given sentences, lines taken from the Odyssey by Homer, and identify to what imagery is used. So you'll have to just identify what type of imagery from the five types of imagery. Okay? So please answer in a 1/4 sheet of paper, take a screenshot, and send it to our G class. Right? Am I understood? Am I understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us please answer first the one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and tell me if you're done so that we can proceed to the 6 to 10.
Done na, sir.
Wow. Wow,
Done.
wow, Danglin. Okay, for the 6 to 10,
Done screenshot po, sir.
but not done answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's the 6 to 10.
Done na, sir.
Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to answer these questions, to identify which type of imagery is used in each sentence, and again, take a screenshot or a picture of your answer and stream it in our Google Classroom. Are you done now?
Yes, sir. Done na po, sir.
How about Miss Ando?
Done na po, sir.
Wow. How about Miss Ignisaban? Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay,
Nasubmit ko
okay.
na rin po sa GCR po, sir.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much. And with that, let's reveal the answer, or let's check if your answer is correct. All right. For number one, it's auditory imagery. Number two, auditory imagery. Correct, correct mo guys. It's number
I'm
one and two.
perfect, sir.
Char. Number three, gustatory imagery. Number four, gustatory imagery again. Five, tactile. Six, tactile. Seven, visual. Eight, visual. Nine, olfactory. 10, olfactory. Did everyone has a perfect score?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay, let me see in the G classroom.
Sir.
I am beautifully confident, sir, that I am perfect.
Me too po,
Okay.
me too po.
Same
Okay,
po,
I'll check
same.
it. I'll check it right away. Okay, so any question regarding our topic, regarding the type of imagery?
None so far, sir. We understood it clearly and perfectly.
Yes, I know that for sure that you guys perfectly grasp the idea of imagery. And for your assignment, select one type of imagery from the five types available, which are the visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory, and gustatory, and provide five examples of that specific type of imagery. You can choose the type that you find most interesting or prefer to focus on. Let's say, for example, you prefer to choose the tactile imagery. So all you have to do is provide five examples of the tactile imagery. Okay? Any question regarding your assignment?
And so far, sir,
Sir, I have a question po.
Okay, okay.
When is the deadline po or the submission po?
Okay, the deadline will be tomorrow at exactly 11:59 p.m. So you have um, plenty of time to do this assignment.
Okay po, sir.
Okay, and for the example, you have to choose one literature that you will use to na pangitaan ninyo o imagery, right? Am I understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. With that, do you have any question, violent reaction, comment?
You, yes, sir. I have one comment.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
I would like to commend your presentation, sir, and it is very impressive. I'm so proud of you, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement and your comment. Okay, with that being said, thank you so much guys for your cooperation to finish this class this morning for my final demonstration. Hope to see you next meeting and don't forget to do your homework, to do your assignment and attach it in our G classroom. Okay, thank you everyone. I have
Thank
the
you,
next
sir.
class pa.
Bye. Thank you so much.